Hello and welcome back to Age of Engineering, and my name's CJ. Right now, I know there's been a bit of a delay with an upcoming episode. The problem was, I don't know if I mentioned a few episodes back, but I had to get a new set of headphones with a new mic. Now, for 2 videos, they worked absolutely splendid, but then for the last 2 videos I've recorded, yes, I've recorded 2, I've done a lot of things, as you can see. I've finally got the metal press from Immersive Engineering working as well. But in both of those episodes, first of all, I recorded one, I got it all ready to upload, and then found out that the sound was ruined, and part of the video was knackered, but mainly the sound is what was causing the issue. I thought I'd sorted all that out. I've re-recorded another episode, obviously explaining everything I'd already done in the previous episode, and going over a few more things in that current episode. To then find out 10 minutes into that recording, the sound then returns to this horrible, distorted sound. So, what did I do? Basically, I went out, I've got another headset, and hopefully this one's going to work a lot better now. This is Turtle Beach. Now, what we've done then, as you've seen then, we did get the metal press from Immersive Engineering sorted. Don't know what changed. I right click the press, the piston, and then hey presto, it just turned into it. So I didn't have to change anything, that just automatically happened. I was quite shocked because we tried it a few times before and not got it work. Right now up here you'll see there's a hole here, there's a hole over there as well. What I've been doing, we created some steel cables, just plain steel cables, and we've got this sky hook, and now I can travel back and forth between areas. Yep, see you later, pal. I can even go back up. If I was to click and hold that, I'd carry on all the way down to there as well. I've got one over here that just leads down to the aviary. I've now changed this up as well. I'll quickly show you this. This now just collects resin, sticky resin, so that's now collecting plenty of sticky resin for us. Let's head back up here. Right now, in this room, what we got done then, in the first episode that was firstly ruined, it's a bit loud in there. Let me just turn the game sounds just a second while I go in here and explain this. Right, so what I'd built, in between episodes, before we come back after we'd finished on the last episode, I just built one of these recyclers, and what I've done, I've extended it and built 4 of these recyclers, and that's just recycling everything. And this is now all coming from the mining dimension. As you can see, we finally got the dimensional transceiver up and running as well, and as you can see, all those are full, just generating scrap 24/7, which is going into this mass fabricator. Now this mass fabricator, found a few good tricks with it. For instance, you take the scanner here, you place an item in there that you want to scan, you store it to one of these crystal memories, and you make these by putting crystal memory raw in a smelter, furnace, or alloy smelter, and you create that using silicon dioxide and obsidian powder. You only really need 1. You do need 3 in total though, because you'll need 1 spare one, and you'll need 2 to create the scanner. Then once you've got things scanned in, you can take it into here, you'll place the pattern disk there, you'll click this to import it from the crystal onto this pattern storage, and as you can see here, I've got 5 patterns. I've got the machine chassis, got the machine frame, iridium ore, iridium shard, and a basic capacitor. And as you can see, the UU matter it requires, basic capacitors require only 4.723, so we can make them relatively easily. Machine chassis 8.84 and machine frame 12.5. The iridium itself is 120 millibuckets per iridium ore, and the shard is 13.33 per ore. Spare me 1 second, I'll be right back. My phone is ringing. Sorry about that there, just got a telephone call from a family member. Sorted that though, now answered that. Right, so yeah, as I said then, we've got these, we can now make machine chassis quite easily, basic capacitors relatively easily, and machine frames. You can't do the octadic capacitors or the, what is the next one up from the basic? or the double layer capacitors. You can't scan those. I am testing to see what things we can scan. One thing I do want to try, I think I'll give this a go while I've got you here with me. We're going to need to make some items. I think we may actually have some of the items we require already down here. What we got in here, advanced machine casing, I want to try one of those, and I also want to try an iron casing, because they are also two more items that are relatively difficult to create. Not so much as difficult, but costly on the items. They're expensive items to use every time. So let's take one of these discs and see if we can place an item casing in there. Nope, we can't. Can we do it with the advanced item casing? Yes, we can. Well, I'll be happy at that. That's still a progress, so we'll scan that in there. And this constantly generating EU, this is to give it a bit of a boost. If you put the scrap in itself, it does increase the speed at which the mass fabricator works. But if you turn the scrap into the scrap boxes, you actually get more speed and more reliability from using these scrap boxes, so you get a better outcome from using the scrap boxes as opposed to just using the singular scrap on its own. I probably will need to set up a few more of these. As we can see, I mean, they're working full whack now, but we're still falling behind with the scrap. Look, there's a scrap box gone, and it's taking a while before it builds up 9 to make another scrap box. Right, let me just pop this out the way here. Right, another thing that we did need to create as well, to make all these items. One of the items we needed to craft was this reinforced stone. I'll show you quickly how we do the reinforced stone. Now, I've got this CF sprayer here. What we did to craft the CF sprayer is 3 iron item casings and a universal fluid cell. And then you create yourself some CF powder as well. And the CF powder is simply clay, small stone or stone dust with sand. Yeah, and what we'd be looking to create then would be the reinforced stone from Industrial Craft. Now, what you'd first need to do then, you'd take your CF sprayer, you'd place it in here. You'd have it on enrichment like this, so you've got your water being fed into a tank here, you've got your item deposit here for depositing your item that you're going to infuse the water with. As you can see, we have got some construction foam here. Let me switch that round. Is that one? There we go. And as you can see, I've just filled that up, and that now holds 8,000 millibuckets. We've still got plenty in there. I do want to actually get all of that out of there at some point, so I do want to keep using this construction foam anyway. Whoop. Right, now with the construction foam then, what you'd then go and do, you'd then take iron scaffolding. This is made with iron plates and iron fences from Industrial Craft, and those iron fences are iron item cases extruded in a metal former, and that'll give you iron fences. Right, so once you've created this scaffolding then, you take the scaffolding, place it down like so. Oop. Then you take your CF sprayer. Whoa, I didn't need to jump that high. Let me turn that thing off. Alright, and you'd spray like that, and there you go. All those now say reinforced construction foam. Now you can leave it over time and it will dry over time, but the time is quite lengthy. But what you can do to speed up the process is simply right click with sand, and that will turn those straight into reinforced stone. And the next thing I will note then is the time it takes to mine this item. I'll just quickly show you now. It's a very lengthy process. It's more lengthier than collecting obsidian. And we're nearly there. One more. Boom, there we go. Thank you very much. Right, so these items then that we crafted then, so what we made them, let's go to Industrial Craft. Right, so we made the replicator. Now the replicator took some reinforced stone, it took some reinforced glass, which is just glass panels with an advanced alloy, It took an MFE drive. You've seen me make one of these before, very early on in the series. And that's 2 times insulated gold cable, energy crystals, and a basic machine casing. We then also needed to make high voltage transformers. They are simply medium volt transformers with 2 times insulated gold cable, an advanced RE battery, and an electronic circuit. And those are pretty simply made with 2 insulated copper cable and a basic machine casing. Now, we also had to make these teleporters, which take these frequency transmitters. They are simply a controlled unit in insulated copper. But we also had to make advanced machine casings, we had to get diamonds, some glass fibre cable, and advanced circuits, and I had to make 3 of these things. We also made the pattern storage. This is what has also taken us on to age 7, which took 2 mining lasers, an advanced circuit, modular storage, which is easy enough with a machine frame, takes a chest, nether quartz, and redstone dust. Then obviously you've got those crystal memories that I mentioned, and you've got some of the reinforced stone. We also made a scanner as well. That's the item we're using at the moment to scan in new items, and that takes iron plates, reinforced glass, electric motors and illuminators, and also advanced machine casings and advanced control circuits. Now those illuminator panels, I have got some left because, as you saw, it does create 8. Now if I take them and place them down like that, they just work as lights. The only problem is I'll log out and log back in, and they will just be sitting pretty much like that, so they pop themselves off the wall, so I haven't been able to actually implement them into my design. Right, so from the scanner as well, the one final thing that we'd made that I haven't gone over is where is it? Can't quite spot it. Now I'm looking for it. Is it somewhere around here? The mass fabricator. There we go. And the mass fabricator is a Lapotron crystal, which is an energy crystal, advanced circuits, and crushed lapis. And then we also had to put in 2 advanced machine casings, 2 advanced control circuits, and glowstone dust, and that got us the mass fabricator. The mass fabricator, you can only feed it in through the bottom, so I've got the scrap boxes feeding in through the bottom, and you can only feed out the UU matter from the top, which is a liquid, so you pipe that out with the liquid pipe. This thing here as well, we were quite ahead of ourselves when we created this. As you can see, I've got iron in there at the moment, and what the iron turns into is iridium ore. I need a lot of iridium ore for the plan I've got at the moment, so this is running non-stop 24/7. Let me just put these away. Right, yeah, and also this can also take dirt, turn it into clay, which is very quickly. It's the cheapest one on there, and it can also take glowstone, and glowstone, it turns a glowstone shard into there we go, into a glowstone dust into a cenarium part, and it turns glowstone into a cenarium itself. There's also items like chrome. I don't believe we can get that any other way other than in here. You can see we can turn wither skeleton skulls into nether stars, but that's the highest price one on here. It's $1/4 of a bill. As you can see, we can turn sand into gravel as well. That's also 50 EU. And is there any more in there I want to show you? You can turn gunpowder, netherrack into gunpowder, which is pretty good as well. As you see in there, the bottom there, the iridium. And you can turn wool, depending on the colour, depends on what you get. So you can get redstone and lapis. And as you see there, there's the clay, and you can also turn charcoal into coal for 60 EU, so that would be relatively cheap as well. Right, so what I then moved on to, what we were then getting ready for the following episode was this. Now, going through the recipe, you can see it's at the advanced already, so that does mean I'd already created the solar panel here, and that's simply a generator from Industrial Craft with glass, coal dust, and basic control circuits, and that got us the standard solar panel. Then from there we took advanced alloy, irradiant glass panes, advanced control circuits, and an irradiant reinforced plate. Now the glass panes themselves are made from reinforced glass, irradiant uranium and glowstone. The irradiant uranium is glowstone surrounding uranium, 4 pieces of glowstone. And this thing here, this takes these parts, so we had to get a scenarium part, which means I had to put glowstone in the molecular transformer. We also had to make the reinforced iridium iron plate, which is advanced alloys and carbon plates surrounding an iridium iron plate, and the iridium iron plate is iridium ingots surrounded by iron plates. And the iridium ingots themselves, you get that from smelting iridium dust in a furnace, and you get your iridium dust from crushing a piece of iridium ore, and you get 2, where is it? There we go. And you get 2 per ore. So you can double the amount of iridium you're getting, but we are going to be using it mainly in this ore style. So let me just pop that in there, so see I've got all them. What I do need, I need 64 of those. I need 10 of these. I've already got one somewhere, I can't remember where I put it now, but I did have a scenarium piece somewhere. I could do with finding that, because I could do with bringing that up here. Let's go see if we can find that. I think it's downstairs in the chest. I'm pretty sure I can put my hand on the chest, it's in straight away. There we go. I hear you. Creeping around. Thank you. Right, now, what we need then to upgrade this solar panel, because what we're doing then, I was in the process of gathering all the items together to upgrade this. Now, I've had a look at these. Obviously it only takes 1 enriched scenarium to create these. It does take 4 advanced circuits, iridium reinforced plate and lapis lazuli, and the enriched scenarium is irradiant uranium surrounding scenarium, and these iridium plates is iridium ore, 4 iridium ore, 4 advanced alloy and 1 diamond. Now to go up to the next one would take 8 of these hybrid solar panels around an advanced circuit, but what I'm looking at doing, I'm looking at creating it this way. Now I've already got these coal chunks. I did these in the episode that's been lost, the final episode that was lost, and it takes compressed coal balls surrounding any kind of block, obsidian, bricks, block of iron, or was there anything else? No, that's all of them. And the compressed coal balls, simply coal ball in a compressor, and a coal ball is coal dust surrounding a flint. Now, in here, it might not be in here, it might be downstairs, I think it is. Yeah, I believe they're in here. Yep, so we've got the 3 coal chunks, and we've got the lapis block. The only thing that we are missing is the scenarium alloy, I believe it's called. Let me just quickly check. So the only thing we're missing yet is scenarium alloy. Scenarium alloy is scenarium alloy again here, which is scenarium surrounded by iridium reinforced plates, which you've seen is made from these. So these are the expensive stuff, but this one isn't worth using. And to go from this one to this one to this one is just not worth the cost when you could go straight to this one. And this one puts out, I think it's around 512 EU per tick in the day, might even be more than that. So that's why I want to move up to this ultimate hybrid solar panel. That one is just way too expensive, but we may get around to that in the future. So what I've been doing then, I've been waiting for the items. Obviously you can see I need 4 enriched scenariums, which means I need 4 scenariums alone for that, surrounded by irradiant uranium. And I'm going to need 2 lots of that, which means I'm going to need 8 of those. And then if I also show you this, we also need 1 for this. This is why I need 10 of these scenarium, and I need a hell of a lot of the iridium ore, which is why I'm letting this process. Right, now these as well, obviously I did have that issue where I couldn't get the temperature to stay low. As you can see, everything's staying nominal. The only thing that's going down now is the fuel rods. What I'd messed up with if I come down here, what I was using in here in these places, you can see I've got component heat vents. I was using heat exchangers like a noob. And as you can see, there's a big difference between the component heat vents and the heat exchangers. And the component heat vents take heat vents, tin plates and iron bars. So as soon as I replaced all those out, now it works perfectly fine, and both of these put out 420 AU per tick. I did have to step down this as well, because as soon as I connected all the power up, it did blow out these MFEs. Now all the machinery downstairs is ready and set up to receive a tier 4 power. So what I might be doing sooner or later is taking those out, probably upgrading them to the next tier up. Now I think the next tier up itself does take those ones to go up to that tier. Yeah, it does, but as you can see, what it takes is a lot of Lapotron crystals. And as we've already seen, those are pretty costly as well. So for each one, I'd need 6 Lapotron crystals, which is 6 energy crystals. And them energy crystals take 4 diamonds per. So yep, that's going to be expensive. That's going to be 24 diamonds alone just to do one. So yeah, at the moment then, all I'm doing is just waiting on these items. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just take a quick break here just so I can have a look, see maybe if I can figure out what we can start looking to achieve next on the list while we're waiting for all these items to upgrade that solar panel. I think in the guide we are, as I said, we're now in the nuclear age. I haven't got any plutonium yet. I have got some stored away, which is when those fuel rods deplete. But what it says here, plutonium, which you get from thermal centrifuge from empty fuel rods. So you have to put the empty fuel rods in the thermal centrifuge to get the plutonium. Depending if you want more power or more plutonium, there are different recommended reactor designs you can look up online. Also, you should consider trying out the fluid reactor, producing superheated steam for more power efficiency. I think that may be something that we're going to move on to, because that increases the EU that we're generating again. Basalt as well, which you get from cooling, no idea what that is. Lava in the world, by either waiting or placing coolant besides it, is a side product from using lava in a liquid heat exchanger. So that's something else that we're going to have to do as well. With plutonium, you're now able to use deep resonance crystals to make power and use advanced generators, steam or gas turbines to generate RF or EU. For advanced generators, you need pure citrus quartz, and the only way to get it is to wait a couple of hours for them. Right, so we could also be moving on to applied energistics 2 as well, with pure flux crystals, so we can finally get some kind of proper storage system set up as well. And then after we've done a few things off here, we'll then move on to this atomic age. Now what I'm going to do then, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to have a quick look and see if there is anything we can move on to while I'm waiting for these items, and I'll be back with you shortly. Right guys, I've just checked on time, and it does look like we are just running over the 30-minute mark, which means that is going to do it for today. One thing I will finish up with though, just before we move forward, if we look in here now, it's scanned in that item. If I click here save, it then saves that item to the crystal memory, so you can see advanced machine casing. I'll then take that, place that in here, and import from the crystal. That crystal can now go back in there. But if we go into here now and we keep scrolling across, there we go, advanced machine casing, and that used 19.82 millibuckets. So it actually costs more to make that than it does the higher tier items we've been creating with it, like the machine frame or the machine chassis. So it does look like it's probably more beneficial for us to craft those ourselves. But if I did need some in a rush, I do now know I can create some in here, and we've got quite a bit of UU matter stored up now, 540. Right, and I'll just quickly demonstrate how fast this is as well. So advanced machine casing, we've already got plenty of those. What I'll take a machine frame, boom, done. And why not take, you know what, let's take another machine frame because I haven't got many of these, and bam, done again. And that is literally how quick it is. And as you see, that's barely used any of that UU matter at all. Right, so that is going to do it then for us today. You've seen how beneficial this is. This is an absolutely fantastic system. I love how it just creates anything out of nothing. All you simply need to do is scan the item in, and look at that, we've got 2 machine frames without having to faff around with anything else. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Right, so as I said then, that's going to do it for today. If you've enjoyed the episode, feel free to leave a like, and if you'd like to see more videos from yourself, then please also feel free to subscribe. Thank you.